tunes that I learned in Africa. This is really a segue, isn't it? So just it's a bizarre show, isn't it? Isn't this a crazy
awesome.
gig?
I love it.
Woo! You never know what's going to happen next, do you? But I'm going to play some tunes from Africa. The first one's from Tanzania, and then a couple from Mali.
I could bring it to you after the
I like what you've done with the place, Fleck. It's nice over here.
Fleck, Fleck.
Have you guys ever heard are there any fans of E.C. and Orna Ball's radio shows from the 1950s out of Rugby, Virginia?
Oh, yeah.
Not a single person. Wow. Usually there's somebody who's just like, yeah, sure, woo, you know, but you guys are real honest. Well, E.C. and Orna wrote all these great gospel songs that were, they were like goth gospel. Like trials and tribulations, fire and brimstone, washed in the blood of the Lamb, you know. Really, really awesome. And so this song I wrote, and it's a gospel song, and the verses are inspired by E.C. and Orna, but the choruses are inspired by my Grandma Washburn, who's originally from Sanborn, Minnesota. Anybody know Sanborn? Wow. It's pretty good. And she's, she just always had a smile on her face, Didn't matter what was going on. It could be 100 below, and she was just smiling, Like her neighbor, Gary, the dog could freeze on the yard, and she'd be like, Gary, nice lawn ornament, Betty. I swear if she went to hell, she'd just be down there. She'd be like, sure is warm down here, huh? Love my grandma. So you're going to sing Grandma Washburn's part with me, and it's a call and response. And I go, hear it ring, and you go, hear it ring. I go, hear it ring, all the joy that it brings, Yeah, the verse is moody and the chorus is happy. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, we're going to practice. He's the taskmaster, so. Hear it ring, hear it ring, hear it ring, hear it ring. All the joy that it brings, You guys are really, really good. I've heard people from Minnesota do have a higher IQ in general. Where are you from? All right, here we go. Usually we have to practice that twice with most audiences. Just want to let you know that. Oh, he's from New York City. Yeah, that's not right. On this road of life, you have harbored pain and strife, standing at the gates of hell. Oh, but when you hear it ring, it will end all suffering. It's God's great divine bell. Hear it ring, hear it ring, hear it ring, hear it ring. All the joy that it brings, How loud must be the sound to turn this world around to God's great divine bell. If you think you sound bad singing, just get louder. It works well. You have washed your hands of sin in the blood of the Lamb, but you drank from Satan's well. When you hear it toll, heaven and earth are gonna roll to God's great divine bell. Hear it ring, hear it ring, hear it ring, hear it ring. All the joy that it brings, How loud must be the sound to turn this world around to God's great divine bell. To God's great divine bell. Time and half a time echoes a whole till man shall fall. Well, I pay no mind to that earthly chime when I hear that divine bell. Hear it ring, hear it ring, hear it ring, hear it ring. All the joy that it brings, that it brings. How loud must be the sound to turn this world around to God's great divine bell. Let's hear it loud. Hear it ring, hear it ring, hear it ring, hear it ring. All the joy that it brings, that it brings. How loud must be the sound to turn this world around to God's great divine bell, to God's great divine bell. Starting to try to clog again since I had a baby. I thought it would be no problem. I clogged up to the week before he was born. I was like out to here. I couldn't even see my feet and I was clogging. And then I had him and I was like, I got up to clog about a week after. I wouldn't recommend postpartum clogging.
I found it very entertaining.
Well, Bela and I, in the last few years, have found ourselves very sad a number of times because of the elders that we've lost in country and old time and bluegrass music. People like Hazel Dickens and Mike Seeger and Pete Seeger and Doc Watson and Earl Scruggs and anyone else you can think of. And so we want to do a song in their memory, and this is one that I learned right after going to Doc Watson's funeral in Deep Gap, North Carolina 2 years ago. And this is a song that his family sang, and it came from, well, as far back as anybody can remember, and it's a sacred harp song sung in Appalachia. And am I born to die, to lay this body down, and must my trembling spirit fly into left Minnesota to go to Colorado to go to college, and then went to China. Came back to Colorado again, and then I moved to Vermont, and I was a lobbyist for 3 years at the state capitol there. And while I was up there, I kept going back to China in between the sessions, and I noticed that a lot of Chinese people didn't really know much about some of the beautiful things about American culture. They tended to think they'd get shot if they came to America on site because of the movies. I don't blame them. You think about it, right? Most of the movies we go to, with all guns in them and stuff. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I wouldn't want to come here and be scared. Some of the ladies carry guns around here too.
So I was kind of on the search for like things that I could share with my Chinese friends to be like, this is, America's really awesome in a lot of ways. And one night I heard a record of Doc Watson playing at a party in Vermont, and I thought, well, that's really beautiful. And the more I explored it, the more I realized it was a guy from North Carolina playing the banjo, and learned so much more about American culture because of the banjo and Appalachia. I learned more about Appalachia and where our country's roots comes from and everything. And I started taking the banjo over to China, and I couldn't even get into the choir in Edina High School. So tell you what, I did not expect to be up on the stage at the O'Shaughnessy Theater 2 decades later playing music for people. So I mean, but you gotta give it up. Choir in Minnesota is intense. So. Yeah. So I came to the banjo through old time music, and a lot of old time Appalachian music is these same melodies over and over and over again, like you would hear in Irish or Scottish fiddle music. And you get into this trancey, groove-like place, and you just go and go and go, and it's, you vibe out, man. And anybody else here old-time musician? Yeah, it's a small, peculiar bunch of people. So Bela came to me one day and said, hey, Abby, you want to play a Fleck Tones tune? And I would, yeah, I mean, Fleck Tones are awesome, but I'm just saying, like, playing, they wrote, they did a record, a Christmas record, and they did the 12 Days of Christmas, and each day was a different time signature and a different key. So that's foreign territory for me.
Maybe that's why Chinese people don't want to come here. But you're going to do it, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, for the sake of marital relations, I'm going to step over to the side of complicated arrangements.
Okay, then. Yeah, so we're still thinking about how to respond to that, but she is going to play this blazing solo on this, and you'll know she's just been messing with you the whole time. But we're going to do a Flecktone song from about 1995, and it's one that I wrote just before we went to Africa, to South Africa for the first time, and it was an exciting time right around then because Nelson Mandela had recently been elected the first democratically elected president of South Africa, and we were going over to collaborate with some of the musicians over there, and everybody was telling us about the new South Africa that we were going to be able to experience. So I wrote this tune and brought it along and played it over there with some of those musicians later, played it with the Flecktones, and now with Abigail Washburn, old-time musician.
And you have some wig hair on you still, but it's just...
Yeah, honey, if you see any blonde hair on me, and thank you so much, you guys.
Yes, thank you so much for having us. This is the best. to the Dakota and the O'Shaughnessy and the folks from Clues, Brittany and Enrique for being here, and to our crew, Josie and Richard, who travel with us everywhere, and Helen, who's back at the hotel with our baby, our sweet baby, who's sleeping. And here we go. Wish us luck. Wish me luck.